work ethic is brilliant. Then he will send it out! Raise the roof! Woo! Henry flexes on.
Get around here. Give you the fist pump. He pumps that fist. This will be a 7.
You called it early. They have written him. Johnson just stayed at home. Had his hand on the ball.
Drive. Puts the shot up. How does he get that in? Good shot. 3 seconds. Molly Kendrick, turn away jumper. That is who you want to get the ball there.
Yep.
Oh! Upstairs.
And that is your Kodak moment.
There he goes.
And welcome to you at home, wherever you may be, streaming this one on Facebook or on YouTube. Welcome to Premier League action here at Starplex. Round 7 for the Premier League sees us meet the Central District Lions and South Adelaide Panthers. It's the men's turn. If you have not tuned in, you missed a cracker of a women's game, but we're here for the men's now. Isn't that right, Benito?
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, Alan. AB. Well, we've got a great encounter tonight. South Adelaide with a chance to get off and running, pretty much. Of course, they've had a tough start to the season, 0-5, but against the Central District's Lions outfit, that is an incredibly dynamic side. They're going to have a difficult time of it.
We're going to see a lot of up and down basketball tonight. So just a really quick mention as well from the women's team. This was brought up to us after the game. Jordan Girardi, congratulations on umpiring, officiating your very first Premier League game. That's an absolute achievement for the young man. He's a cracking fella and an absolutely wonderful referee and will go very, very far. And he is a giant. So any of those boys down the low post who want to have an argument with the referee, they won't get too far with Geordie, that's for sure.
And it's a great call out there. We've got, as we were talking about the Centrals lining up, they've had some scouts so far this year. Of course, they took down West a few rounds ago. In their last match, they did take a tumble to Southern, losing by 10. But Dow was a star there with 20 points. He was good despite it. And as we look through, Alan, I'll get you to call out the starters. Give us that trademark ring that downtown Alan Brown has.
The trademark ring. So we've got number 1, Dakota. This is for the South Adelaide Panthers. Number 1, Dakota Zinser. And we've got number 10, Brad Johnny, the skipper, is on the bench, but we've got number 15, Jared Hoppo, very, very talented young man. Number 23 is Zach Ullman, and number 31, Adam Brown, no relation, which is a shame for him. And for the Central District Lions, starting the ball game on court will be number 6, Devon Jones, and their skipper, number 7, Jordan Centenara, and number 8, Jordan Arua, checking into the game as a starter. And number 10, Loyal Ding, and number 25, Chol Luck, as we have the national anthem.
And as we see there, the Central Districts Lions won premiership coming back in 1984. It is looking a bit bare up there, and this season actually provides quite a chance for them to perhaps have a crack at another one, because we've got a competitive league this year. They've shown they can mix it with the best. They've got dynamic players who can put the ball in the hoop in any way possible.
They're an unknown. They are an enigma, and they've got athleticism to burn, so we're going to see that a lot tonight. I had the opportunity to see them in the first round against Woodville, and they looked very, very sharp.
Well, of course, again, that game against Woodville, they just kept going at Woodville. Woodville looked to pull away a couple of times, but Centrals just stuck with them, and then Chol Luke was one of the stars in that match. He had 30 points, 7 from 11 from the 3-point line. That's a tremendous shooting form from Chol Luke, and that's in a 3-point win over Woodville. So plenty on offer there, not just athleticism, but also just pure talent and skill.
They've got it from one end to the other. I mean, players like Wild Ding, great defensive player, block shots, rebounds. He's averaging something like about 7 rebounds a game, so he's really taking control of the boards each and every week. So it'll be a big game from them as well. From a South Adelaide perspective, they spread their scorers a lot. Zach Ullman is probably one of the higher scoring velocity players that they will that will utilise throughout this particular game. So you'll see him in the number 23, of course. He's led the way for South Adelaide this year, so he'll be a focal point in their lineup. Taking out the way, Jared Hoppo is an up-and-coming future star of Australian basketball. He's pretty well earmarked for big things. So looking forward to a big game from both teams. And
of course, for South Adelaide as well, they do have a good spread of players, and it's surprising that they haven't notched a win so far this season. Dakota Zinser, one of their imports, is quite a good handler of the ball and can shoot it as well. You've got young guards in Adam Brown, Brad Jonek as well. He's come from North. He's a great three-point shooter and can hit a dime from all over the court. But coaching South Adelaide Panthers today is not Jamie Petty. It is not.
Jamie's up in Queensland with the under-18 country team. Country and Metro both playing the state champs up in Townsville this weekend. It is Reece Turner who is the assistant coach for South Adelaide men. So he's stepping into the Pirates chair this evening, and I'm sure will do very well. So had a lot of success with Southern Tigers, a great player in his own right. And I'm sure he'll enjoy me saying that as well.
Of course, his claim to fame is his involvement with the 36ers and the Lightning as the Lightning GM.
Yes, he took them to a grand final series in obviously the last season, going down at 2-1 unfortunately. But look, he's done great things to Adelaide 36ers, amazing things to Adelaide Lightning, and he'll certainly continue to do so for both the South Adelaide Panthers as well as the Adelaide 36ers from next season. So
we're about to get underway here. And holding possession of the ball is a very capable referee. Nathan Durant, I believe his name is.
Nathan Durant, that's the one.
NBL caliber referee.
I've lost
my words.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll pick up.
He's a gem.
When I first started doing court announcing for the Noongar City Tigers a long time ago, he used to always request vanilla ice baby, and he's got ice in his veins as a referee, and I think you have to really.
And here we go, Ullman and Lord Ding. We're underway. Hoppo takes it straight up. He's on Rewa. That's a size mismatch and rims out. Centenaro, the Central's captain, brings the ball back and gets us underway. A fast start, straight off the bat. Big rebound there by Zinser. Sporting the sleeve, that's an impressive one. And now Hoppo now. Here's Ullman. Ullman looking to post up. He works his way around, gets the jump on Ding, and scores the first points of the night.
Getting us underway. Zach Ullman leading the way for South Adelaide and in this game now. Great move to the basket. Absolute lightning Chol luck opens the account straight away. Big answer from Central Districts.
And now Jonek gives it off. Here's Brown. Brown to Ullman. Ullman to Brown. Brown to Zinser. Zinser out to Jonek. Expect him around the three-point line this entire match. Here's Brown again. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Great ball movement, but denied by Devon Jones. Here he is on the other end of the court. The skyhook.
Both ends from one to the other. Starts and finishes that sequence of play. Inspirational stuff early from Devon Jones.
Of course, he's one of their imports as well. We'll talk about it a bit more later. Here's Jonek. And now Ullman. What about that? Deserved to go in. Doesn't fall. And Centenaro bringing it up. Centenaro been with the club for a while. Devon Jones steps out of bounds, and Hopper would have had a slice of that if it had stayed in bounds, but it didn't.
Unfortunate for South Adelaide grabbing it straight away, but they still retain the possession nonetheless.
Look, nearly getting called for the foul there. And Brown to Ullman, playing up high, and Jonek now looking to set things up. Jonek, more of a shooting guard than a point guard, but a great player nonetheless. Ullman not happy about the call there.
He came off his knee. I don't think there was a foul on that. That looked pretty clean. Umpire was behind the play a little bit, but we saw it from the open side here, so that looked okay.
Here's Look. He'll look to get a fair few looks on the outside. Rewa, one of the best ball handlers in the league. Devon Jones gets called for the travel. Anticlimactic, considering his dynamic start to the match. And now Zinster looking for options. He has Jonek at the top of the key. He puts up the long 3-ball. And no good. Here's Rewa looking to move the ball quickly. He goes himself. The athleticism from the American. He steps back outside, takes the 3-ball, and that's how you do it. Jordan Rewa, the Minnesota State Uni Alumni. I don't know what I said there, to be honest, but here's Hoppo.
Centrals are up and about. South Adelaide need to respond right here. They are up and about. And that's how you get back into the game with an and one. Great drive to the basket. Jonick leading the way and will step to the line to take a bonus in a 3-point play.
Strong from Jonick. And here he is now. South have made the trip out to Starplex. That's a fair travel from Marion up to Gawler.
It's an hour. It's an hour. It's never fun, but that's okay.
You'd say it's one of the toughest trips in the competition to make, but now we have Mount Gambier in the competition, so can't really complain too much. This is good from Brown, looking for options. Well defended though, and now Zinser to Hoppo. Hoppo decides to take that. Doesn't go, but Hoppo, such a great stretch player, can step outside to the arc and just really let things fly. As Chol looked in.
Speaking of which, wowee!
There's the first, perhaps of many tonight.
We've seen him do a lot of damage from beyond the arc in previous games, and we will expect nothing less tonight. Jonick to the pass back to Ullman.
Ullman takes it, bit short, and the rebound grabbed up by Lua Ding. And Ding to Rewa. Rewa steps on the 3-point line, decides to give it to Centenara, and Centenara has a bit of space. Gives it to Rewa. Bit of 1-2 combo, and Rewa doesn't go. South Adelaide have a chance to respond. Pick up from this 6-point deficit. Jonick goes himself, and Zinser was ready for that if that bounced kindly to him.
He had some hops. That was quite a jump to the basket.
Look.
Oh, look at that.
Double trouble. Joel, look. We talked about it before the match. He could be key here.
He was an open look. And they do not want to let that happen for much longer in this game, because he will walk away with 10 3-point shots made by the end of this game if that continues to happen.
Here's Brown. Denied. Devon Jones
says no, thank you.
Rewa punishes the South Adelaide Panthers, and it is all the Lions. The Lions are roaring. They're up and about, and it all started with that emphatic Devon Jones block.
That's got this Centrals crowd up and about. Reece Turner wanting to have a chat about this defensive lapse that they've had throughout the first 5 minutes of this game. They've allowed that tempo to be solely controlled by Central Districts. They have not taken their ascendancy and made sure that they covered their players, and there's no talking communication, so they need to switch that around. Good chance at this point. It's only even 5 minutes. They are still only 12 points down. Let's just settle down, find your matchups, and let's play the game like they know how to play.
Reece still looking composed. He's just telling his players where to go, what to do. It is a 16-4 lead. It's a massive start by the Lions at home, and for South Adelaide, they'll be a bit worried because they managed. Last week, they did get blown out by the Mount Gambier Pioneers. It was a 121-84, I believe. But what they did do was stick with them for a quarter and a half, and they actually played pretty good basketball down at the Ice House.
They've only, from looking at the perspective of points conceded, they're fifth for points conceded. So they're right in the middle of the pack. They're not the worst team for conceded points. So realistically, you know, losing by those sort of margins, allowing those sort of points, I mean, that must have been some game up at the Ice House, that's for sure.
And they retained possession, South, quite fortunately, because that was rolling all over the place. Here's Barden inbounding to Hoppo. Hoppo decides to play it back out. Doesn't want to attack the basket. And speaking of that, Ullman gets up, puts it down. One count.
Chiabatoni just running out of room. But we've seen with Chiabatoni just a little bit of energy to inject it into this lineup now. It's exactly what South Adelaide needed this time. Not so much to step out of the court, but definitely the energy.
And here's Luke again. Rewa. Outside, this is an open three. Oh, you thought he'd punish them. Look at that pass from Rewa. The handles to Devon Jones. And he goes to the line for two. Devon Jones standing 196 centimetres tall. Would usually play as a forward in American competitions, but down in Australia the players are a bit shorter. He fits right at home as a centre.
With those sort of handles and that sort of gameplay playing as a centre, you'd be licking at your lips if you were a coach or a distance, and that's for sure.
Like mania. Here with a bit less, it's a bit harder to really sets the tone for this Lion setup and really allows everyone to do what they do best. The three-pointer from Dow doesn't fall. And Zinser looking to just control some of the damage here. He looks to shoot, gives it to Chiabatoni. Superhero about that.
What a superhero about shoes too. Very red. Superman red.
I don't think that's the colour.
It is now. You go to Bunnings, it'll be there in the paint section. I'll have the Superman red, please. That's what I'll tell you.
High quality encounter. They really both took it to each other to really score points.
Highly entertaining game so far. I'm sure it'll continue through, but where does South Port from here? Do they just keep
to the positions where they need to be? You feel like they'll slowly dig away.
Your boy, Brad Yannick, doing exactly what Benito wanted him to do, take control of this game.
Doesn't fall. Big rebounds by Zach Ullman. And AB,
yep. We'll look after each other.
Downtown Adam Brown.
Well,
that must hurt yourself.
For South's sake, let's just hope so. For South's sake, if he can be downtown Adam Brown tonight, then that would be very beneficial for them.
Thought about it, but thought the pass on Ullman was better.
Too big.
And that's strong from Zach Ullman. Too big for Luke underneath the basket. And even Devon Jones on the second attempt couldn't stop him.
Great recognition of the mismatch down low from Yannick as well, getting it into Ullman. As Luck goes towards the basket, he's going to count it. He's going to count the shot. Foul is then called on Elijah Mini-Kopilski as he checks out of the game for Jared Hopper.
And Jim Adao checking out as well.
And Luck to shoot the bonus shot for a three-point play. Unsuccessful in a three-point play. And Brown controlling the ball, getting the play set up. Then he will take the foul from Joel Luck. Good pressure. There's no easy movement with the ball in this game.
Yeah, and keeping it congested up throughout and calling the fouls. It just doesn't feel like, for South, it'll feel like their game, it continues to struggle to get moving, you know? Like.
Absolutely agree. This is only their first foul of this quarter.
Exactly.
It's 4 minutes in. It's his first foul. It's really inconsequential, but it just reminds Adam Brown that he's not going to have it his own way getting the ball up the court.
Here's Hoppo. And the pass to Ullman. Ullman keeps it alive, but it falls into the hands of Loa. Ding. Ding. Over to Centenera. And he'll kick it to Luke. Luke to Rewa. Rewa steps inside. Look at the handles on him.
And
AB wants to travel.
There was some hot footing going on
I
there.
wasn't looking at the feet. I was just looking at the hand.
Foxtrot down there, but no, that was probably 2 steps. I mean, maybe it was an optical illusion, maybe, but a great move to the bathroom reel nonetheless.
And now Ullman on the perimeter. Nice pass to Hoppo. Hoppo puts it up. And that doesn't go. South still trailing by 10 points. Now Rewa back. And great ball movement from the Lions. Looking around, finding the right option. They've got still got 10 seconds on the shot clock, but they don't need it. Centenero can't get the shot to fall. Now Jonek might put that up. Decides not to. He probably should have. But he gets it back. Gets second chance. The vision on him is superb. And the basket from Adam Brown.
Downtown, Adam Brown.
My mind's blown. Here's Rewa. Rewa to shoot it himself. Responds in the brilliant fashion that Jordan Rewa does. Of course, Rewa's played in places like Czechoslovakia and Germany, so he knows what to do in that sort of situation. Jonek to Brown, and then Brown now, Barton to Brown. Here's Jonek, puts it up this time, and that's well short, but off the foot of Look, and they're going to get it back with 14 seconds on the clock.
Brown thought about it, gives it back to Barton.
Barton
calls for a screen, but waves it away and chucks up the shot.
And it's good to see South Adelaide responding against Central's strong play from beyond the arc to give it a go themselves, and really great challenge.
Hoppo with a double-handed block says no way, not in my house.
Patrolling the key like it's Bondareski. Of course, his namesake on the show.
And surfs up, splashdown from downtown Adam Brown.
This is all incredible right now.
It's all coming together. South Adelaide are on the march and right back into this game.
Rewa looking to drive, gives it, and almost been posterized.
So far, we've seen two almosts, and they would have been highlight reels at the Halls Wollacott at the end of the year. Both of those two plays, but unfortunately, they won't make it. Ormond taking a well-deserved rest, going with a small ball lineup as well, South Adelaide now. So they're taking out their biggest big from the looks of things. They've changed their mind. Almost just walked over for a drink.
Ding, nearly ending Jared Hoppo's career there. So, of course, on Bondareski, Hopper has a namesake. I think his name's Anthony Hopkins. And they call him Hopper. So that's where I got it from.
I like it. That was a good reference. I don't know how much time he'd spent in the sun, unfortunately, old young Jared Hoppo.
It's true.
He's got some fair skin.
He spends plenty of time in the gym, though. Of course, I believe a college call-up isn't far away from either.
It really is not. It's the name of the college is just out of my mind at the moment. I know they're red and white, but that's all I can remember in my mind.
There's a fair few red and white. Both of these teams sport red and white as well, as we
and blue.
Talked about. And blue, of course, as well. So.
And we've got timeout. Tick over 3 minutes to go in this first half. And yes, these mics are pretty sensitive for those of you listening at home. I'm sure that's surprised you as well as it surprised Benito and I.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked. I'm shook. I'm shook and I'm shocked. What I'm not shocked at is the 7-point lead that has decreased down to that 7-point buffer. South Adelaide really coming back and doing the business as they know to do on the from the hand of Barton, the hand of Jonek, the hand of Ormond. These guys are starting to contribute and really put some pressure on the scoreboard against Central Districts.
Well, yeah, it's been a good second quarter from the Panthers. They've really steadied the ship and they've continued to chip away at that deficit. Reece Turner at the helm of that ship, showing his poise, showing his experience, of course, at the Southern Tigers as well. He was an assistant coach.
To Dean Nyberg, a big shout out to my old pal Dean and former championship winning teammate from under 18s back in the day, so a long time ago. So
before I was born, probably.
If you say it to me again, you're probably just, you're right. No,
well, we look at the stats now. We're going to move on. But
yes.
Just Jordan Rewa has 16 points already, alongside his 3 rebounds, 2 assists and 2 steals. He's been dominant for the Lions. On the Panthers side of the court, we've had Ullman and Barton put up 8 points apiece, and it's more of an even spread. As we've talked about, here's Brown, gets it to Ullman. Ullman hasn't been able to get too close to the basket so far, but Brown puts that up. He's already hit 1, and Ullman, great tap down, like a ruckman.
Great awareness and judgment from Ullman.
And Zinza gives it to Brown. He goes again. And this time Devon Jones picks it up. Devon has shown his athleticism early on in this encounter and will look to continue to do so. But he's got a man in Ullman to beat, standing more than 200 centimetres tall. Centenera working his way around. And now Luai Ding decides on the perimeter shot.
And the keeper of the boards down there for South Adelaide wraps up another one. And they can really cut this deficit right down now with a successful offense here.
Here's Zinza. And Jonek really wants to put up another three-point shot. He hasn't really had success so far though. Here's Brown, fakes him. And that's great nous from Brown to beat the much taller Luau Ding and really get him off his feet. And South are moving in waves now. Continuing the C references. Jonek short again. And they continue to cut down the deficit, but they're not getting too much closer. Still a 5-point margin with 1:30 remaining in the second term. Now Ding gives it to Rewa. He's seen plenty of it in the second term and steps inside Ullman. That is elite from the American guard. Jordan Rewa out of Minnesota State University. He's already ranking 5th in the league for assists, but he shows he can get to the rack as well.
And composure under immense pressure from the big boy in Zach Ullman there. So stepping to the line to push this one out almost to another 10-point lead. It's going to kick it out to 8 if he is successful in the 3-point play. Very crucial time this last minute and a half. We saw in the women's game, the last minute or so of every quarter seemed to really dictate how the next quarter was going to start. And he knocks that one down, so he's successful. Extending the D now, the Central Districts.
The press looks good and the turnover. Here's Ding. Puts it up and that's 2 more points.
Works straight away. Great call from Ricky Simpson to bring the defense up.
Press continues. They've got nowhere to get out. Brown tries his best, actually does it really well. Here's Brown moving it out. And the floater from Zinza punishes Centrals. But if you're Ricky Simpson, you take that because Brown had to get through a nightmare of challenge to get that basket. His look responds well. And we've got a bit of a free-flowing affair here. Pass goes over to Zinza, and he might slow things down a bit. No, he gets past, and he might go up himself!
Oh! Ding, ding, ding! He says, not in my house. No one is home.
Knockout.
No way.
And look to Rewa, and he slows things down when we just wanted to get started. Jordan Rewa gives it to Devon Jones at the top of the key, and look, doesn't go. Devon with the powerful O-board and one.
He loves it. Roars like the lion that he is. Count that basket. Mini Klipinski on the end of another and one, unfortunately.
Zinza go up and Ding deny him.
It's a great step by Zinza to get around Rewa, and he had eyes to go, this is going to be highlight reel, this is going to be just the biggest thing you'll ever see. There we have a timeout with 33 seconds to play in this first half. A 12-point lead now for Central Districts. But that was one cracker of a block. That was.
Well, do you think Zinza saw the camera under the basket at the start of this match and was like, "Hey, I'm going to posterize someone. I want to get on. I want to get a photo. I want it to share it around with my friends and family."
That was going to be a Snapchat story straight up. That was going to be on his Instagram. It would have been everywhere. But now it's going on Dings, and well deserved too, because it was a great timing on that block. Could have easily hit the body and caused a foul, but it did not. It was absolutely as clean as a whistle.
Well, Ding showing his flexibility around the court. Of course, a really good 3-point shooter. I don't think we've seen him put up a 3 so far tonight, but he's 45% for the season from the 3-point line. That's 4th for the league.
His defense is really it's underrated. I mean, realistically, he's a monster on the boards. He's super long and will just get his hand into absolutely everything. If he stays out of foul trouble, he'll finish with 5 or 6 blocks in this game.
And if you missed any of that, Devon Jones to the line to complete his and one, the 3-point play. Pushed his rebound to Devon Jones. Dang.
Court press.
And this is a good full court press too.
Probably not in the right hands that you'd want it, but they have him trapped in.
Minia Kupinski to Barton.
Did well, the young man.
Just 3 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And Jabatoni gives it to Zinza. Zinza looking a bit more ginger after that. And now Barton gives it out.
This will make him feel better.
From the outside.
Yeah, it does not.
3-2. We're going to see a shot from halfway. Stenson puts it up. He does.
Although it was pretty close. Not a bad effort, but Centrals will take a very, very comfortable lead into halftime. 47-35, a margin of 12 points here at Starplex.
his work ethic has been. Then he will send it out! Raise the roof! Henry flexes on it.
Get around to it. Give him the fist pump. He pumps that fist. This will be a 7.
You called it early. They have ridden him. Johnson just stayed at home. Had his hand on the ball.
Drive. Puts the shot up. How does he get that in? Good shot. 3 seconds. Molly Kendrick turn away jumper. That is who you want to get the ball there.
Yep.
Oh!
And that is your Kodak moment.
There he goes.
You are seeing some amazing footage from Spacequake
Oh,
Sports. They shot that on a Nokia 3315. That was just absolutely beautiful. Welcome back, folks. After the halftime break, we have Central Districts leading by 12 points. Get stuck into this second half. Where does South Adelaide pull this extra 12 points from to get back level pegging?
Well, they pull it from their players, I'd say so. I don't think Reece Turner can score too many from the bench. So,
but he's the coach, he can sub himself in, he can do what he likes.
Well, he's still young as well. He can still play. But anyway, Andrew Barton has been good off the bench as the captain. He's put up 8 points tonight. You'd expect more from him. Same with Jared Hoppo. He's only had the 3 so far. And they've got their 2 imports in Zinser and Ullman. But we're on the way here in the second half of the Basketball State Premier League matchup between South Adelaide and the Central Districts Lions. And straight up to Ullman. Gets the pass to Zinser. The imports combine. But the ring says no.
Just spoke with them, and there they pop. Really high defensive run there from Centrals as well from the outset, which you certainly would have expected from their lineup.
Now Centenera gives it to Rewa. Rewa was the star of the first half. He puts the fadeaway on. Doesn't fall, and Ullman grabs that one, says it's mine. But yeah, Rewa with 19 points in that first half. Here's Jonek. Look for him to get going in this second half too. Brown as well has been lively. He pushes inside the middle, passes it back out to Jonek. He has 7 seconds to do something with this. Jonek goes inside and denied! Oh! Little ding flies up and sends that out of here.
Big ding, big swing, big ding from Big Ding. South Adelaide to reload with 3 seconds on the shot clock. They've got to make something happen here. And they do. What a pass. Great cut to the basket by Zinser.
Sensational. Sensational.
Opens this second half for South Adelaide.
Here's Cho Look. And he keeps it alive. Nearly loses it. Devon Jones on the outside. That's not where you want him to be. But he's going to push inside and lose the ball. Here's Brown. Brown to Zinser. Zinser pushes inside and he's got the jump. Doesn't fall, but Lord Ding knocks it out of bounds and South Adelaide retain possession. This is where it's going. South Adelaide pushing the agenda early in this third term.
Predicting a 3-point basket from South Adelaide right here. Can Zinser be that man? He won't be, but Jonek with a big gap. There's no one around him. Splash town. And Jonek brings them back to a 7-point deficit.
That's his first 3 of the night. He missed 4 beforehand in the first half, so that is exciting for South Adelaide fans.
He gets going, look out.
Rewa steps back and he misses this time. Hopper lets that one roll out. And South are up and about. Their bench can be heard from the grandstands at Starplex. Of course
Ricky
they
wants to
can
talk
be.
about it already. He's not happy with what he's seen in this first minute and 53 seconds. Not happy at all.
And it begs the question, because Ricky's head is looking shinier than ever. We were at the Woodville match earlier this year, and I thought it was well polished then, but he is looking sublime tonight.
Very smooth, very smooth. I can't say I've ever gone with that same look myself personally. I think I've got a bit of a rude head when it comes down to the shape of it.
Well, you see some bold heads, and they're a bit chunky on the sides, and you're
alien-like. No one wants that.
But Ricky Simpson does not have that issue.
No, not at all. He's got a very nice melon on top of his shoulders there, that's for sure.
And his players, that's something to listen to. But
he'll appreciate this love. I'm sure he will. But he'll be thinking about that when he'll be listening to this.
Listening to the tape when they're checking it out with the team, and the team are loving it.
You know, those guys, when they're talking about the shape of my head, they're right. They are right. I do have a very nice bonds.
Well, this is an important match for the Centrals, and like they could go third with a win here. realistically. And right now sitting 5th. They're on the precipice of that top 5.
It's their chance to put their flag into the ground and say, you know what, we know we're only a quarter of the way through this season, but this is going to be big. We are going to be a force to be reckoned with, and we can make some things happen and make you second guess yourself.
And Jonek gets that out. They've got space here. The alley-oop might.
Oh, it was sorry. Ullman was not happy.
Zinser not as confident as he was in the first turn before that. He got blocked sensationally by Ding. Here's Rewa pushing it up. He gives it to Ding, the man of the moment. And he grabs his own offensive rebound and puts that back in.
Bit of stat padding there from Lyle Ding. But great awareness on the offensive rebound to make sure that he could put that finish on the board.
Jonek has no space. Gives it to Zinser, to Brown. Ullman's calling possession, but Zinser now. He passes it out to Ullman. Ullman gets in the end. Strong on Devon Jones with a shot not quite. Brad Jonek slipping in there, getting the offensive rebound, resetting this one. As Zinser gets called for the offensive. Probably fair. I saw the elbow extend out, and Nathan Durant doesn't make too many bad calls.
Ullman will be very disappointed with that shot that he put up there. I think as he made the turn, he was either going to go that left-hand kind of baby hook, but then changed his mind and ended up getting like a shopping trolley push. And it did not go very far at all. Yeah,
it's the sort of thing you'd see at a grocer. And here's Luck. Luck, it falls kindly.
Devon Jones throwing it down. Love to see that.
And now Ullman, how can he respond? Gives it to Hoppo. Hoppo with the long ball. And Sensenera grabs the rebounds. It's back to an 11-point margin. Luck gets it to Devon Jones. He's been so dynamic inside. But Sensenera will take it from outside. Doesn't go, but Devon with the rebounds. And then the turnover. Jonek bringing it up quickly. Gives it to Ullman. Ullman finds a way inside and gets it to go.
Made a decision, chose his right hand. Great finish, deft touch, and takes the contact to the elbow. And we'll head to the line for one bonus shot.
And look at that dunk by Devon Jones. Quite sensational, really. As we see, Luck falls Devon's way. Luck was the passer of Devon's pass, and he gets that basket. Devon now gives it out on the other end. But South Adelaide really quietened down this Central District's crowd with that and one. Rewa now might give it to Ding, but now Luck has it. Luck to Devon. Brown gets there, knocks it out with his knee.
Just cutting off the lane, just making sure that there was no easy way to the basket for Devon Jones. Yeah. Brown's had enough of the highlight reel stuff from Devon, but
and
out again.
We're going to restart with 1 second less on the clock. Here's Luck, gives it to Devon. He finds a way inside, spins around Ullman, but then loses his balance.
Too dizzy, too many spins, unfortunately, for Devon Jones.
A pirouette that ballerinas would be proud of.
It was majestical. That was divine from Devon, but unfortunately not the finish.
And now Jonek, he might go here. He doesn't, Brown does instead. Now Zinser shakes, bakes, puts it up, and it rolls over and heads to Netherlands. Disappointing.
You can see he wanted it. He wanted that shot. He was lining up, trying to just push his opponent back a little bit.
I love the character on the inputs in this match though. You've got Ullman inside, who is just like a farmer grabbing those rebounds. And then you've got Devon Jones battling up on him, so dynamic and athletic, like Ullman is as well. Zinser not afraid to do anything. He tried to posterize a guy a head taller than him. And then of course, Jordan Rewa with handles like the handles that LeBron would want on his side.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll get the call up for Space Jam 2. He needs players.
Nobody else wants to be a part of that, so why not? As Centenera lines it up from outside, but does not connect on that attempt.
I could see Rewa in Space Jam.
Mate, I would like to be in Space Jam, to be perfectly honest with you.
I could see you in it too, downtown.
I think they need something. They need some Aussie flavour in Space Jam 2. Even though it's the first one.
They might be forced to go to it, Alan.
Oh, look, I'm putting it out there now. If LeBron's listening, mate, I am available and I have a passport and ready to roll.
Here's Dow. Dow steps to the outside. He doesn't have anyone on him. Could go. But decides to drive. He finds space.
That's that first very super quick step. Dow just going straight past his opponent, opening up an ocean of room and with a clinical finish.
Now Hoppo to Jonek. Jonek hasn't shot a 3 since he hit that first one of his match. But decides to drive. Ullman has a lot to beat, but doesn't need to beat him when he puts that up. That is quality from Zach Ullman.
That's knowing your game, knowing your inside game, and just going about your business, doing your work.
Rewa and now Dow, nearly intercepted by Hoppo. Dow looks to take on Zinser and Ullman. Can't do it. The 203 centimetres of Ullman proving too much, but Jonek on the outside. This could be big, and it doesn't fall. Devon shrugs his way into Brown, and we've still got an 8-point match here. This has been an exciting quarter. But Hoppo getting hands in everywhere. Here's Devon working on the much smaller Brown.
Got him.
And what did he get him with there? Because he was moving.
Got him with a hip. He had good body position. Devon went in and Brown took the contact at the right time. Great work from the young man. He's having a heck of a game.
Yeah, he is. Adam Brown. Of course, I was talking to Jamie Petty earlier in the week for the same article I have with Molly McKendrick, and he was saying that he wanted to give players like Jamie Brown and that more time playing the point, more time playing as a guard, and just giving them the chance, because in future years there'll be players that could do incredible things for the Panthers.
Tell us a bit more about the article. Where can we find these articles for Molly and for Jamie Petty?
It will go on. It will go live on either the Monday or the Tuesday. It'll just be a piece, kind of glorifying the Panthers. It's a bit of it's an exciting season for them with a new stadium and the new floorboards coming in, and plenty is happening down at Marion. You'll be able to see that on the Premier League Facebook page. Just search the Premier League Basketball SA and you will find that.
As you'll find Ullman under the basket, putting another 2 points to South Adelaide, bringing them within 6 points with 3 minutes to play in this quarter. Dow dicing his way through the key and answering straight away with 2 of his own, pushing it back out again to 8 points.
Dow is such an athletic player, such a dynamic youngster. Speaking of which, Jared Hoppo, another one of them. It's an exciting matchup. I like the 5s we've got on the court here. And here's Dow again, looking to control things a little bit. We've got Ding and Rewa on the court as well. So Rewa, he's got space, decides to drive, gives it out. Jackson Walsh with a looping ball. And Hoppo doesn't see Ullman free. He's looking in the wrong way. Not sure why either. Here's Chabatoni to Ullman. Ullman to Jonek. Jonek nearly loses it, gives it to Ullman. And decides to go himself. Jonek!
Jonek left wide open. Cannot do that.
Did you see that 3 symbol on his hands? He loves it.
Was very impressed with himself, and why wouldn't you be when you're hitting shots like that? He's found his groove. He's found his rhythm in this third quarter.
And just 3 points, the margin now. South Adelaide really closing the gap, and Rewa dices his way through now. And the penetration from these Lions is pretty impressive. Ricky Simpson would be pretty happy with it.
Too many options for South Adelaide to contain.
Well,
they're going to hit a shot from outside, or they're going to penetrate and dish.
But,
just like that from Jared Hoppo. Nice dime over to Brad Jonek, and he connects, brings it back to a 3-point game.
But that's the thing, South Adelaide have shown that they have that same dynamism in players like Jared Hoppo, Ullman on the inside, but also on the outside too. Brad Jonek's looked heaps good in this last term. But Jimmy Dow just finds his way to the rack again and again and again.
He knows you could blindfold him, he'd make it.
And with 1 minute remaining, 5-point game, Hoppo gives it to Jonek. Jonek's been hot. And he decides to get the pass to Ullman. I don't know if that was the best option, but it kind of trickles away. Here's Dow taking it again. And
count it!
Points on points on points for Jimmy Dow. He is splashing in the cash.
He's taking this game by the scruff of the neck and saying, you know what? this is me, get out of my way. You've got to do a lot to try and stop what I can provide, and he is providing a ton.
South Adelaide getting lost in the sauce. That is Chimadea. And now a 7-point match when South really threatened. They were within one possession for much of that term. And making it count, Chimadea. It's been an impressive quarter. And the long name of Minia Kapinski is back on court. So we don't have to call that. Barton, Davidson, he's got time.
It's got to be relation to Alex Chip. That's for sure. Great shot from the young man there from first foul shot. Don't allow the easy baskets to cut at the moment. They seem to get on, once they get on a run, and they can't really be stopped.
Yeah, it's true. When they get their chemistry right and they just make those connections between them, it's a joy to watch. You've got Norwood with James Legan shooting 3 balls from left, right, and centre. You've got the rest.
Wasn't really ready for the drive from Dow, but really you've got to be. Nutmegging a play like that is just of Allman's capacity. Just to do that is just
Is that the equivalent of cow tipping?
It's got to be. It's got to be. And the finish by Devon, that was absolutely, that was out of this world. As luck. It's been a bit cold from downtown since hitting the first few 3-point shots of his game tonight. Always a ball event.
He saw where he needed. I thought he was going all the way.
Would have been a spectacular coming out though. Just chat about it and just get them to reset their thinking just for the next 6.5 minutes. And as for Reece Turner, look, it's going to be an uphill battle. It's good talent. They have the real talent in all.
He gets a couple of those at half the deficit, and you know Allman's going to continue to accumulate up in the key.
Yeah.
They've got their captain out there to set it.
Putting the ball down, so unfortunately anything.
And he hasn't put any pressure on it yet. We'll keep you updated. But he loses it, and bringing it up is Brown. Brown to Allman, and he doesn't go. Just up in the basket.
It's the second relatively open, pretty straightforward layout that we've seen. This a miss.
And now Ding showing that 3-point poise. Fires it and feels it. And Simpson, you can hear him from the bench. Allman thinks about it. Barton will think about it. He just hit his last one. And he gets the pass over to Hoppo. Hoppo puts it on, gives it over to Ding. Ding has
for the rest of the really attack. They have fouls to give themselves, but they can really attack from an offensive standpoint. If they're not going to get an open shot, drive at them, move the ball at them and try to draw some fouls and get yourself to the foul line for some free shots. Because really, that down the stretch, if you can hit your foul shots, then you give yourself every opportunity to get back in the game and get right up to them.
his knee up on another chair by the Lions. Is this that you would see in Hussard been dealt a loss? It looks at least there's still a bit of time to play against Pioneers, but with those results going that way, it could be positive for the Lions with a win. That puts them further up. Of course, North possessing that third place.
West Adelaide are above them on the lock the Lions into the top 4.